Imagine flying all the way from wherever, South America or Florida or wherever it came from, only to end up in Maine, dying while flying into a window. So one of the drawbacks of having so much glass on our house is that it reflects the forest, it reflects the trees. So the birds think they're going into the trees and they're flying into a window. Oftentimes they just get stunned and then fly away. We've taken precautions. We try to hang things in front of the windows, put silhouettes in the windows, but it doesn't always work. To have a good little bout of procrastination before you can get to work. Kids are gone. I always have to do some little housework thing or something to sort of transition from morning into work. Did I show you my vacuum? My vacuum, this thing is ancient. It's signed by John Fishman, the drummer for the band Fish. Jonathan Fishman to Milo. I did an energy audit for him once, and for those of you that don't know the band Fish or Jonathan Fishman, he is known to play the Electrolux vacuum. He has a way of holding the hose up to his mouth to make different sounds with it. So I thought, as nerdy and corny as it sounds, I brought my old Electrolux to the energy audit and asked him to sign it. Now I can never get rid of it. Andrea was on my case for years to get rid of this vacuum cleaner. The month after we bought a new vacuum cleaner, I got this signed, so and now we're gonna be keeping this one forever. I lost my sunglasses, and it figures after a week of no sun that I would lose my sunglasses as soon as the sun comes out. There's a certain irony there. Golly.
90 calories per bottle is what I got. I got 6.75 fluid ounces. 6.75 fluid ounces.
I have a phone call I'm gonna get ready for here now with a client, a college in Maine that hired me to do energy auditing of most of their campus buildings. When I'm doing consultations for a customer that's 2.5 hours away and we're likely not to get any improvement work, it makes it difficult to generate income for the crew. But the college is an exception because it is my alma mater, because there's so many cool old historic structures, because this college is right on Frenchman's Bay and is a string of old estates that were put together. So it was a ton of fun to do the project. So I'm getting ready for that phone call. That's going to happen in about an hour and a half or so. If I actually look at my schedule, I learn that my conference call is at 1:30 and not 10:30. So I've got some time to collect my thoughts and get some other work done too.
I got to admit, it bites back at first. Orange is the way to go when I want to quench my thirst. Illuminati, 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 Illuminati. Illuminati, 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 Illuminati.
YouTube on the wall. Who's the scruffiest of them all? You know, today's like today's. Days like today. You know, it's days like today that make me wish I was one of those carpenters like I used to be that was outside, you know, putting on some siding, doing stuff on the exterior, looking at the birds flying, feeling the breeze on my face, maybe swatting at a couple flies. Generally feeling good about being outside in the spring, but you know, I just don't find myself outside that much for my work, you know, and that really is frustrating to have these periods of being cooped up like some kind of, you know, caged bird. I mean, at least I get to look at it, right? I shouldn't complain. You know, I could be in a cubicle farm someplace, you know, in the middle of a 5,000 square foot office matrix. That would really make me crazy. That is like one of my personal hells. This is what I'm working on, but this is what I'm thinking about, right? All right, here we go. This is Colorado. Can you see this? There's Denver in that part of the rectangle. We will be hiking through the Rocky Mountains all the way to the southwest part of the state to a city called Durango. 480 miles. There's a line called the Continental Divide which goes through the Rocky Mountains, which if a water droplet falls from the sky and it hits the ground, if it falls to the west side of that Continental Divide line, it technically drains to the Pacific Ocean. If it falls to the east of that Continental Divide line, it technically flows to the Atlantic Ocean. So we will actually be hiking along that line, that divide in the continent, along its highest ridge for many, many miles. We've done the Colorado Trail once before when Andrea and I were 20 years old. 20? 21? Somewhere between 20 and 22. We did the trip, all but the last week of it because, well, we got snowed out. And I have 2 full journals from that trip. Upward I rose quickly, the dry heat battling my ego, every few hundred yards winning me over to stop, sip some water, and gaze out over the creek valley between me and Mount Yale. I had regained myself and felt as vital as ever, ready to face any challenge, the next of which was waiting for Andre to catch up so we could eat lunch. Today we re-entered the life we chose to lead for 8.5 weeks, the wildlife, as it were, the natural world where life meets the elements, their reaction being what we call wilderness. The previous day predicted 3 to 7 inches of snow above 12,000 feet. We'll be there by this weekend, in home of the giant pancake. Quick little walk before my call with the college at 1:30. I had to get a little bit of fresh air. Just looking at it was driving me crazy. Why is doing homework like pulling teeth?
School dances are alright, I like them well enough. They've got beautiful girls there, and snacks and drinks and stuff. But there was this one school dance, made me sure as shit hate 'em. This guy thought he had all the girls, and wouldn't let me date 'em. My friends and I arrived at school, immediately checked out. The girls that we had chances with, and some we knew nothing about. I was careful to avoid the pack of hungry nerds, all dancing like imbeciles and stumbling over words. This one girl caught my eye, she must have been 13.